Howdy, everybody. It's your pal Misty. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. It is once again time for our Thursday night live stream. I've missed y'all. It's been 2 weeks. It feels like a long time. Doing one live stream a week feels like a lot until you don't get to do it one week. And then it feels like it's not very frequent. And I have been missing y'all and wanting to talk to everybody. So thank you for being here. For those of you who join, I see that Mary is listening in. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you being here and listening while you're busy working. A lot of us are preparing for our 3-day weekend. A 3-day weekend is nice until you realize you got to do all the work before the 3-day weekend starts for the 3-day weekend. And then maybe it's not always quite as fun. Still worth it though. I'm excited. I'm ready for it. Hey, Lori, thanks for showing up. I hope you're feeling better, my friend. And Marcy's here. Thanks for joining, Marcy. Man, that Sally Up challenge. I don't know if y'all follow Marcy on Breaking Insanity Cycle. She did one of those Sally Up, Sally Down challenges with a wall plank. Woo, that's tough, man. You did great. Maybe I'll try that one day, but I haven't yet. Those up down planks are still tricky for me. Maybe if I did them against a bench, I might have a better chance of being successful with that. I just realized all my weights are still on my bench from this morning. I was tired. I've recently this week started upping my exercise a little bit. So I'll talk about that for a moment and then we'll sort of get into the topic for the evening. But as always, I like to tell y'all what's been going on. Basically, what's been going on is a lot of storms here in Houston. That's sort of what upset the apple cart last week. Oh, yeah, you absolutely will, Marcy. She said someday she'll get to it where she can do it on the ground. No doubt about that. And I'm looking forward to that video. You'll have to do it side by side once you finally get there. I don't think I'm there yet, though. So I need to find a starting place myself. But yeah, so we've been having a lot of really bad storms here in Houston, and they say be specific in your prayer requests when you can. And so Thursday night after I canceled the live stream, I was like, I told everybody that I was just going to stay quiet. I'd actually had a rough day, and that was originally why I had canceled it. And I was like, I'm just going to stay quiet and off the internet. And then before the live stream would have even ended, I lost power, and then I lost cell service. And so then we got a thunderstorm warning, and we're told to take cover. Somehow, out of nowhere, Houston got like winds of 90 to 100 miles an hour. They said basically we had I think it was like F2 tornado and Category 1 hurricane winds or something like that. We had no warning. We did not know it was going to be that bad until it started happening. So God, in his ever-loving kindness, decided to literally give me a night of quiet and no internet. I couldn't get on my phone to message anybody. I'd send a message, an hour and a half later it'd go through. Couldn't watch YouTube, couldn't watch videos. I realize now I have downloaded some music on my phone because I use Amazon Unlimited Music so that I can get everything that I want. It has pretty much every song I've ever looked for on there, so it works really well for me. I actually have a family plan that I share with some of my family so that they can have the unlimited music as well. But if it's not downloaded to your phone and you don't have cell service, when I say it was quiet, it was quiet. And it was dark. So me and the dogs, we were in the bathroom in the dark I have this little light that I got from Dollar Tree. And it has all the colors of the rainbow that come up, and it lights up your room and everything. And normally I'll put it on the weekends at night just to kind of boost my mood or whatever. So me and the dogs had a party in the dark for about an hour. In the quiet for an hour. So next time I'm going to be more specific with my prayer requests and pray for time off the internet and quiet, but still having cell phone and internet, please. Thank you. Hey, Mama, thanks for joining. I appreciate you being here. And happy Thursday. So yeah, so that's why I did not get to do the live stream on Thursday, and then I was going to reschedule for Friday because at that point I was just so out of it. I didn't realize I already had plans for Friday to meet with some of my friends, so we did that on Friday. I think the only other really big news that I haven't shared with y'all is I had a weird fluke headache. I guess is what it was. I was in so much pain every time I would bend over. Anytime I would try to lift a weight, it was like Monday before last. I joined boot camp, but I literally just marched in place for like 50 minutes of the hour because I just could not. It was making me nauseous. My head was hurting worse. And then I went and laid down in the bed. I took my arthritis medicine, which has some anti-inflammatories in it. And so I didn't know what else I could take on top of that to help the headache. So I just laid in the dark in the bed, which kind of led to something funny that I wanted to share. So, uh, oh yeah, buy a book lot and a book. Yeah, that would have been a good plan. I, I need. I have a flashlight. It was out, and then I didn't have the right size batteries. I have corrected that now, so I will have a flashlight next time. So maybe I can read. I do actually have some books that I could read. I have some both downloaded to my phone and uh, actual hard copy books. So anyway, what ended up being kind of funny about that is I've talked to y'all before about how everybody, or a lot of people complain about their dogs, how they wake them up in the mornings and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, nope, mine just sleeping in the mornings. And then when we're up, we're up. Well, on that Monday, I had gone back to bed to lay down because my head was hurting, like right after boot camp. I told my group good morning and that, my head was hurting and I was going to be on and off for the next few hours while until I felt better. And I'd just be listening for any chats that came through and to call me if they had any emergencies, which luckily they did not. It was a Monday morning. They're normally pretty slow if everything goes according to plan. But what I noticed every other day after that is the dogs after boot camp would both go to the bed and sleep. Like they didn't know that was an option. Like they didn't know that was a thing they could do. They're like, you mean we can go back to the bed before bedtime? Because I normally don't. I don't go back to bed. I am up and I'm working and then I go to bed at night unless I'm going to take a nap or something, which I haven't had to do in quite a while now that I've sort of got all these new non-hormonal levels. I guess they're new, they're new hormonal levels for me, but the level is none. Now that I'm considered post-menopause, I'm finally feeling better, and so I don't go to sleep, and even if I am taking a nap, it's not till later in the day, right in the afternoon. So it was so funny. There now every single day I get up, I go to boot camp, and when I come out of boot camp, they're both already in the bed, just knocked out snoozing. And sometimes they'll stay in there for another hour and a half till like 9 o'clock in the morning, which is funny to me because they still don't wake me up. And now they realize they can nap in the bed whenever they want. And they're super excited about it. Outside of that, and other non-fun Misty news is we have unwanted guests in our apartment building. I think it was last Thursday when I was supposed to be doing the live stream was the first time that I thought I heard it, but it was also storming, so I couldn't be sure, but I felt like I heard scratching. And I thought maybe my neighbor who is right behind me, he has a cat. And I thought, well, maybe the cat was, scratching. The storms were freaking him out or whatever. Well, it got worse that next morning and that next night. And then I was talking to the apartments and they're like, oh yeah, so other neighbors also reported it. Y'all have raccoons in your building. I'm like, we have raccoons in the building? They're like, yeah, we know where they got in and we're trying to get them out. Guys, they're too smart for their own freaking good. That's part of their problem is raccoons are too smart. So they've been avoiding all the traps. But when I tell you, it sounds crazy. I don't know if they'll act up right now because normally they're nocturnal, which is when we're sleeping. So normally I don't have a problem with it because they seem to be up and behind me. So my understanding is there are some dividers in the building, and so they can't even go very far forward in mine from where they are, but they're running all over my neighbors' apartments, and they are loud, and I can even hear them in here. They've got the dogs so upset a couple times they both got sick. Ruby was sick this morning, I think, from the anxiety of them. It sounds like they're trying to come into the apartment. I don't know that that's what they're doing. I think it literally sounds like they're running and flipping. And somebody told me that's possibly what they're actually doing. Like they're just playing. They're up, it's late at night, and they're just playing around. Get out. You don't pay. You can't live here unless you're a dog, and we want you to be here. But like everybody's animals are upset. So like yesterday they had a meeting with several of us. It was kind of funny, actually. I was just going out to get a package and I saw them, and they were like, oh, we were just about to come back to your apartment. And then another neighbor saw us, and another neighbor saw us. So we were like having a community meeting outside of our apartments talking about our unwanted guests. And we're like, what are y'all going to do? You've got to get these things out. And for my neighbors, evidently it's worse. Like they were saying, we can't even sleep. It's so loud where they are because they're literally in their building. So what happened, we found out, they told us they actually dug into the building. Like they did go through the walls, which is why we're all a little freaked out about it now. A little bit, at least me, I'm a little bit more freaked out about it because I don't want them coming through my walls for sure. But from what I was explained, I don't think they can get to my walls. I think it's more the building behind me, but they're just so loud. So they were going to try one other method because they said they had talked to some professionals about what to do. And they said that they would have to cut holes in our building to try to find them and literally pull them out. And nobody wants a big hole in their ceiling or their roof or their wall or wherever they'd have to put it. I don't know. So they gave the apartments a different way to set up a trap. Evidently, they really like cat food. So they said to make sure they can't see the trap because, again, they're too smart for their own good. Anyway, so I have raccoons. That was not on the plan for the week. And it is so freaky. I kept looking up and work out. And I told Coach, I was like, if you see me looking up, I'm not crazy. And I'm not talking to God, at least not this time. The raccoons freak me out a little bit. Like, it sounds like they're coming for you. I've been assured they're probably not. They're probably just playing, but that doesn't change the sound of it at all. And gets the dogs all worked up. But luckily at night, I use a sound machine to help me sleep. It's one of the things that I do to help me sleep. So I think the sound machine at night masks most of the noise because my bedroom is farther away from them. I actually use the smaller of my two rooms as my bedroom because all I do is sleep and change clothes there. I spend 9 or 10 hours a day in this room between workout and work, and probably longer than 9 or 10 hours. But anyway, so this is my bigger room. So I'm a little bit farther away from them. And then most of the night we're in the front in the living room. So I can't really hear them as badly. I can still hear them sometimes, but it just sounds like a little scratching. It's not quite as freaky as when you're in this room and can hear them. So a few people joined. Hey, Ron, thanks for joining. I appreciate you being here. Ron's on like Chaffle number, 44 or something like that. So, I love a Chaffle. I haven't had one in a while, actually, but I do love a Chaffle. Ron's got so many recipes. If you need a new variety, go check out his channel. And Boss Lady Denise is here. Hello, thank you for joining. She's doing a high knee challenge right now. If you're not following her, them high knees are deceptive. And you know what? They really go into our topic, simple but not easy. So I might circle back around to that. But you keep it up. You're doing a great job with that. And Gina. Hey, Gina. Yes, raccoon storms. It's been just wreaking havoc over here. Luckily, it hasn't rained in the past few days. The flooding has pretty much subsided here. We're not supposed to have any other big storms, but people were asking me, how are you? I saw that y'all were on the news. I was like, we were on the news. I don't watch the news ever. Just if y'all didn't know that about me, I stay in my happy bubble. Amy watches the news and tells me anything I need to know, and Mary will fill me in on other parts from time to time. But I don't watch the news. There's no reason for me to watch it. I have an app that tells me what the weather's going to be. But evidently nobody knew it was going to be that bad. I'm like, could we stop making the national news? Y'all don't worry about me, guys. I'm fine. Hopefully. But so far I'm fine. Ron said 44 have 57 total posted. Yeah, lots. You made 2 new ones today. I love that, Ron. So yeah, if you need any keto friendly truffle recipes, go check out Ron. He's got a variety. Some I would have never even thought of, but do actually sound good. Maybe I'll have to do one of them, Ron, and do a cook with Misty. I haven't done that in a little while. But yeah, so that's been my last 2 weeks. Work has been a little off for me, but that's fine. That happens. Still got to work. It's business. Can't get your feelings in it because it's business. But sometimes I get my feelings in it because I'm also human and care about everybody and things like that. But overall, the 2 weeks have been good. I talked a little bit earlier about going back on some weight loss expedition, I guess is what I used to call it. But I put on all that weight from the steroids and the antibiotics. When I was on those for several weeks, I had ballooned up to almost, the highest I saw was like 195, where I was ranging around like 170, 165 to 170, that range. So I put on almost 30 pounds in like 2 months, which not uncustomary for someone on steroids for an extended period of time, or antibiotics or things like that just wreak havoc with your body. My body didn't know what I was doing to it. It was pretty sure I was trying to kill it. I wasn't. I was trying to kill parts of it. I was trying to kill all the infection, which was a huge success. But what I realized over the last month after that is the weight doesn't drop. And I'm like, why is it not just falling back off? And then I realized I've gotten really good at maintenance, which I'm super proud of. I'm super proud that I can hit a weight and I can maintain that weight, and I'm very good at it. And I've done it for a month. And then I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to maintain this weight. I want to drop weight and maintain that weight. Because even though I still feel really good, I know I felt better when I weighed less. That's just the truth of the matter, right? So it's part of going into the simple, not easy thing where, oh, you're welcome, Denise. She said, thank you. You really are. Y'all are crushing it. If you think high knees are easy, you try to do 150 of them like she did the other day. They not that easy. It takes a lot of core work to bring your legs up that high. Anyway, so I decided I needed to drop some of this weight. So I've started adding in a few things as far as exercise goes. I'm back to wearing my weighted vest, which you can see right there. So I'm up to 10 pounds now on the weighted vest. My sort of unofficial goal on that is by the end of summer, I hope to be up to 20 pounds, which is the max that I have right now for the vest. So I'm going to be slowly adding weight to that on my walks with Amy every Wednesday and Friday. And then I found my bike pedal machine, like one of those under the desk pedalers or whatever I don't actually know what they're called. It's a bike pedal machine. That's what I call it. I don't know what they're called. Hopefully y'all know what I'm talking about. I could go get it, I guess, and show you, but I have it set up because I'm going to use it after this live stream. So I'm trying to do that 3 to 4 days a week for at least 30 minutes. And I've been doing that for, I think, 2 weeks, a week or 2 weeks. And then outside of that, I'm just going lower carbs. So cutting out some of the carbs. I was doing a protein bite that had oats in it. I've switched back to my cheesecake bites, which are more fat and protein in it, and really very low carb. So I'm just cutting out the carbs again because I know that's what allows me to drop weight. And so I realized that not only have I learned how to maintain, I know how to drop the weight. So it's small changes over time, right? So do I have a plan of how long it's going to take me to lose? When I weighed in the other day officially, because Amy and I were talking about it, and she's been maintaining for like the last year as well, but she's also decided she wants to drop a little bit more. So we're doing different things, right? Because we're different people. And I can't say it enough that what works for me won't work for you because you're not me. You got to find out what works for you, right? But I'm actually really happy. It's sort of a win that I have found out that I can maintain it. It's maybe too well. So now I'm going to be working on dropping the weight again. And I'm doing that by adding in a little bit extra on my cardio by adding the weighted vest. You'd be surprised. Wearing a weighted vest for even a 2-mile walk will burn like 50 to 100 extra calories, which doesn't seem like much, but over time it adds up. Plus, it's extra weight. So I'm putting more muscle into the movement, and that'll help grow muscle slowly over time, which will at first cause more weight to be on there. But then slowly all that muscle helps you burn more, and it will help me lose and then maintain the weight when I get back down to it. So we're both doing different things, but we're both trying to kind of go back on that weight loss. And so I did a weigh in. I was at 188 was where I weighed in on this Monday morning. Now, to be fair, that was after a carb day because I had not fully decided. I had been doing other things, but I wasn't really going to drop the carbs. I'd added in the vest and the extra activity, but I realized I need to change the food if I'm going to drop the weight. But in order to maintain weight, it's better for me to add a few more carbs in. So I'm just doing things where I can drop some of the carb levels every day. I may not be having big carb meals on Sundays like I normally do. I may do, still lower carb or keto. There's nothing wrong with some bacon and eggs. I love me some bacon and eggs on a Sunday. I like a waffle on the side too on occasion, but it's not necessary, especially, since this is the goal that I have. And then Amy's doing her own thing to kind of do that. So, hey, Tia's here. Hello, Tia. Thanks for joining. Let me check in with what y'all are saying here. There's several comments. Ron says he's been walking for the month of May, 50 miles in as of today. It feels good to get out there and move. That's great, Ron. I know you love walking too, so I'm glad you're able to get back to it. And 50 miles already for the month, that's pretty good. I have no idea how many miles I have. My Fitbit knows. My Fitbit's my tracker. I was talking to Tia about that actually this morning. Tia is a high level tracker. She's got it down. She's been so consistent. I forget what was it, like 500 days or something you've been in a row. Like she's got that tracking down. Y'all know it gives me anxiety. It makes my perfection gene kick in, and I have to be spot on with macros, with calories, and I cannot do that. It is not healthy for me. It is not mentally healthy for me. Physically, it may work. It is not mentally healthy for me. I cannot do it. I don't know how many miles I've walked this month because my Fitbit knows. So if I needed to check, I could. Tia says, congrats on maintaining and great plan for dropping the additional pounds you've decided to lose. Thanks, Tia. I appreciate it. I'll be sure to keep you posted. You had bacon and eggs for lunch on a Thursday. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that either, my friend. I love me some bacon and eggs at any time. Gina says she loves carbs so much she's looking into substituting tortillas with lentil wraps. You can absolutely do that. They actually have low-carb tortillas. They actually have zero net carb tortillas is what I eat when I do eat tortillas. They're actually my favorite. They taste just like a tortilla. But even that, I'm trying not to have as much because I know the more gluten I have, I will also sort of retain some of the weight. And again, I'm trying to drop the weight. Will it be in a couple of months? I don't know. Will it be by the end of summer? That's sort of my goal is I hope to be there by the end of summer, by like September. I hope to be down to like the 165, 175 range. That's 20 pounds and that's only a few months. So I'm not pushing. I'm not doing any. I could do some egg fast or some keto chow fast and I would lose the weight quicker, but I want this to be sustainable for me. And again, as someone who's been heavy, I was actually having this conversation with Sarah over at Lose Weight Sarah last night, where it can be scary because you've never dropped this much weight and maintained it. And can I? Do I know how? Oh, all right, Lori, enjoy the graduation. Thank you for stopping by for a little bit. But knowing that I can do it and that I do know how to drop it, it makes me feel good, right? And it sort of takes away that fear of one day, will I just put on all the weight again? No, I don't think I will. Did I put on weight? Yeah. But then once the medication stopped, I didn't gain any more weight after that. I also didn't lose a lot. I've only lost, well, what was that? Again, it's kind of a heavy carb day. I bet it was closer to really 185. So I'd only dropped 10 pounds in like the last 2 months, which is still great. But I want to keep going because a lot of that was the water weight. Once I hit the 185, I hadn't been able to bust past that. And so anyway, that's where I am on my weight loss expedition currently. As I am going back to lower carb. I'm adding in a few more physical activities to, just keep my body more active, feeling my best so that I can do the things that I want to do. Tia says she questions her motives for tracking. You think the point is set a goal and stay under clearly 500 days, and I missed that memo. That's not true, Tia. There's something to be said for consistency in any form, right? So were you consistently doing the things that you needed to do? I mean, maybe not, right? But you were aware and you now know that what it takes. And I mean, I've been seeing you all over the workouts, so I know you're doing it. And I think that's amazing. But just to sort of transition into the topic of simple, not easy, like we were talking about the high knees that Boss Lady Denise is doing. Marcy over at Breaking Insanity Cycle did this challenge of the up down wall planks. But the reason it kind of came up, and it's something that I've said before, but I kind of wanted to talk about it just in all of this that's been going on and me kind of going back on this weight loss for a little bit, is it originally started this month. Y'all know Kirsten, my coach over at Quick Fit Home Workouts. She does a challenge every month on Facebook. And so when she was talking about it, she normally asks, like, is there any specific challenge y'all want? I've recommended a few that she's done. And she was like, I think we're going to do a jumping jack challenge. She's like, that's simple. Or she said, that's easy. And I was like, Coach, I was like, jumping jacks are not easy. I was like, they are simple. Because everybody pretty much knows how to do a jumping jack. I do a low impact jack, which is just using my arms and stepping one leg out to the side at a time. And that's easy to explain to somebody, right? It's simple. But when you get up to 100 and 150 of them puppies and your arms feel like they're about to fall off and your legs don't want to go to the side anymore, you're like, this is not easy. And I really have kind of been thinking about that for the last few weeks when it comes to, health and wellness and maintenance and weight loss and all of those things. I mean, at the end of the day, it is simple. But holy crap, it is not easy. It's not easy. And so many of us struggle with it. And so that's why I just kind of wanted to talk about it. So like the high knees, simple. I can explain to you how to do a high knee. I can give you modifications even if needed. It's simple. It's a simple movement. But I think a lot of people think that simple and easy are the same. And they're just not. You're like, oh, well, that's easy. Maybe not. The move may be simple. Like I said, I could explain a push-up. I could then give you the modification on a bench. I could then give you the modification on a wall. It's simple. Try to do 20 of them and tell me if it's still easy, because it's not. And I think sometimes that's why, myself included, especially in the past, why you just kind of give up, because you're like, this is hard. That's right. But it is simple. Most of us know what we need to do. We know what foods make us feel our best. We know what foods don't make us feel good. We know that we need to get physical movement. I also suggest resistance training, because there's just, I won't bore. One day I'm going to bore y'all with all of the reasons why I believe in resistance training. But just to state a few is, it's great for your mental health. It's great for your physical health. It's great for your longevity. Like, all of these things are proven. Like, there are studies out there on them, scientific studies that have proven that resistance training can lengthen your lifespan. It will obviously grow muscle mass For those of us as we get older, it increases our bone density. And one of the big things as we age is breaking bones during a fall. And physical resistance training helps with that. So move your body. Simple. But it is easy. No. How am I going to move my body? When am I going to move my body? What if I can't move my body that way? What if my plans change? What? So it's simple. Move your body. Simple. It's not easy. It's not easy. Now, at some point, the good part about it is certain things do become easy. Easier. Not as difficult, I should say. Oh, hey, I see Kenneth saying hi to people. So I see that Kenneth is here in the chat. I'll just click this one where you said, hey, Ron. Thank you for being here, Kenneth. I appreciate you. Ron said, knees, ankles, toes, touch school days. Yeah, physical movement, right? Just get it in. Gina says she forgot about her arms would turn to jello. Girl, my arms at the end of today, I'm not going to lie, I had to switch to full arm to just out in front because my shoulders were like, no, ma'am, we are not lifting up above your head. Not one more time. But I did like 50 of these and then I finished out with them back because I'm like, shut up, body. Yes, we are. I'm going to give you a little bit of a break. But I'm not going to make this easy on you. I think it's the hard and the challenge that really makes the difference for a lot of people. Oh, Mom, that's not just for you. My mama says front raises and side raises are hard. I think those are some of the hardest exercises that I do. There's all these memes online on Instagram, or they may be from TikTok, but I see them on Instagram because I don't have TikTok. Where they'll be like, bicep curl, 50 pounds, overhead press, 50 pounds, lateral raise, 10 pounds. Because they're hard, but they're important. And the reason, Mama, why I ask you to do them and why I do them is because, again, especially as we age, I don't know about you, but there's a lot of stuff above my head. All of my dishes are above my head. All of my medication that I take is in a cabinet above my head. You have to put stuff up there. You have to have that front raise strength, right? And as you're doing the front raise, it also helps you pick up stuff. So they're simple. Raise your arms out to the side. Simple. That's easy to understand. I can do that. But is it easy? Not if you try to do it with weights or try to do it 100 times. It just becomes incrementally difficult. Gina says her aunt still does the head, shoulders, knees, and toes at 96. No wonder she still walks with a straight back without any assistance. Amen to that. It really does work. Physical movement with resistance. I'm still always going to push for with resistance. Even if you go on a walk, and I think, Ron, you had talked about even carrying some weights or getting some hand weights or some ankle weights, maybe. Add a little weight to it. I use the vest. Add a vest. Add a backpack. In fact, we were, hold on, I'll talk about Will and my water pack in just a second. Mary said front raises and side raises are tough. They really are. You still need to know what that part of the arm is. Yeah, Mom, I didn't understand your question, and I didn't see a reply on Facebook unless I missed it. What part of the arm, again, were you talking about? Are you talking about this front part of your arm? Like, is that what you're wanting to know? Like, what are you working in that? I wasn't really sure which part of the arm. You said the fat part of the arm, and when your arms are down. I didn't understand what you were asking. Try to ask me again here, and maybe I'll be able to understand. Or maybe I can point to different parts, and this side, like this side out here. Is that what you're asking about? Like, what is this muscle out here? Let me know. Anyway, so we did a Zoom chat with some of the friends in the Discord, and I set up a Zoom room so we could all She's talking about oh no, she said yes. This side, this is one of your delts. It's your deltoid muscles. It's your side delt is what that's considered. And that's what gives you that curve in your shoulder. So when you see those guys with the big shoulders, the boulder shoulders, you have three parts of your delt. You have your front delt, your side delt, and your rear delt. And that's what you're working. So you're working your front delt in your front raise, you're working your side deltoid in the side lift, and then there are different exercises where you can work the back deltoid. So that's what it's talking about. She's talking about the bat wings. I didn't think she was talking about the bat wings because we have words for those. Ron said he went walking at 7 a.m. in the downtown, very light traffic. You take a lot of street photos, beautiful sunrise photos. Yeah, that's even if you find whatever way you can enjoy it, right? Y'all know I'm not a big fan of walking. I love walking with Amy. I love walking with Mary and Natasha because I get to talk to them. But even with that, I added the little vest to give me a little extra. Why not? I'm already out here. I'm enjoying the walk during the week. Sunday's my rest day, right? So I'm not going to be wearing the vest on that day. Yes, that is tough. Yeah, it is tough, but it'll give you some good looking shoulders if you do them enough. But we were on the Zoom session and I was mentioning that Natasha had bought all of us the Camelback, where you can have water while you travel, because Will, he part-time or whenever needed, he goes out and does rescues there in Utah. And a lot of times it's people don't have any water and they get lost. And I was like, I know, but it's not that hot. We're not going that far. And he's like, think of it like rucking, which if you don't know, rucking is basically carrying weight on your back. I'm like, well, you know the weight of my heart, man. I was like, you have just convinced me to wear that silly water pack by knowing that I could consider it rucking. So I'm not actually going to be wearing a vest, but I will be wearing my water pack. And may I add some weight to it from time to time? Possibly. Not on Sundays, because again, that's still my rest day, but you never know. Maybe one day. Does the vest make me hot? It doesn't make me very hot, but it is an extra layer, and I am in Texas, so it is hotter than not wearing it, but it's all open on the sides. It just has two big loops that go around it. Well, I can show y'all. Hold on, let me show you. So it goes on and then it just has two wraparounds. So like all of my side is still open. So I get breeze through here. I get breeze through my neck. I get breeze through my neck. I get breeze, it can breathe through the sides. But yes, it does make me hotter. I cannot deny. And even wearing a backpack. Even when you wear a backpack, or even when I wear a backpack, it makes me hotter because it's more clothing, basically. I find the less I can wear and still be socially acceptable, I will. So yes, it does make me a little bit more warm, but again, working it out and sweating it out, I like it. It makes me feel good. So I don't have a problem with that. Gina says you say shoulders and you think of Angela Bassett playing Tina Turner. That's the truth. She is rooked in that movie. So anyway, right. So what are simple things that you can do to make change? Well, there's a lot of simple things you can do, but I think a lot of us stop doing those simple things because they're not easy. And, again, I'm just speaking for me, but I like to speak for me because a lot of times people will be like, yep, that's it. I feel the same way. Right. And so I like to share because I never know what I'm going to share that may, impact someone or hit someone, in a way that it finally makes sense, which happens to me all the time in watching y'all's channels. It might not be me doing the exact same thing again because we're different, but it might give me a different perspective to look at it. I like to listen to Tia talk about tracking. I like to listen to my friend Deanna over at Adventures of Deanna about tracking. because I can still learn from that, even if I don't do the tracking for me, right? Uh, oh, LB's here. Hey, LB, thanks for joining. You're driving kids around. She's a professional chauffeur, everybody. Oh, Cool Horns chair. Thanks. Yeah, I got this chair because it's smaller and it doesn't have arms. And my other chair was an oversized gaming chair because I was oversized and needed a comfortable chair. And then I couldn't sit in that chair comfortably because it was just too big for me. And I'm trying not to keep things around that are too big. But yeah, so there's so many things that we can do that start out simple. Like I said, move your body. But then you have to make the plan and you have to be committed to it. And you have to consistently be diligent, be disciplined, be dedicated, whatever word you want to use, because you get to a point. And you know what? Actually, I'm going to pull up something that I read all the time. I'm surprised I don't have it memorized yet, but I don't. It's a poem. Can I make it bigger? Well, that's fine. And some of you have probably heard this poem before. It's by John Greenleaf Whittier. It's called Don't Quit. And so this is something that I read to myself at least once a week, sometimes more than that, to be honest, but you can find it. You can Google it and find it. But I'm going to read it really quickly because I think I'll tell you why after I read it. So it says, don't quit. When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile, but you have to sigh. When care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't you quit. Life is strange with its twists and turns, as every one of us sometimes learns, and many a failure comes about when he might have won had he stuck it out. Don't give up, though the pace seems slow. You may succeed with another blow. Success is failure turned inside out, the silver tint of the clouds of doubt. And you never can tell just how close you are. It may be near when it seems so far. So stick to the fight when you're hardest hit. It's when things seem worse that you must not quit. For all the sad words of tongue or pen, the saddest are these, it might have been. Whoops. So, one thing that poem makes me think of is I remember 11 years ago now when I had built up when I lost 100 pounds the first time, and I had built up to doing my first 5K with my mom and my family. Actually, we did the Pickle Palooza in Mansfield, Texas. And she said, you can slow down, but don't stop. And so I didn't in the run, but I kind of did in everything else because it was hard. And I didn't see results. And it didn't look the way that I thought. But what if 10 years ago I hadn't quit? What if I hadn't given up? What if I hadn't stopped? Where would I be now, right? I don't know. But the point is, I didn't. I gave up. I put all the weight back on and then some because it was hard. And I quit. So what might have been? I don't know. I'll never know because I didn't do it. And I try every day to not be there again. And my Discord kind of laughs at me, and they know sometimes I'm like, okay, guys, I'm really struggling right now and I cannot find my silver lining. And they'll help me find it, right? And that's what community is good for, is helping each other and supporting each other and understanding that if nobody's told you, it's hard. I get it. Do it anyway. Keep going. Don't quit. Because at the end of the day, it is simple, but it's not easy. And that's okay. If it was easy, we would have never had to start in the first place because it was easy the whole time. The good news is certain aspects of it do get easier. But then, especially if you're crazy like me, you want to do even more and challenge yourself, and other new things become hard, right? Like y'all saw the video when we were in Ohio of me playing on the playground. I have other videos of me, which I'll be releasing, of me playing on the playground because that's what I like to do. If we're out and there is anything I can climb up, slide down, crawl over, crawl under, I'm doing it. I'm there. Let me get on that thing. Let me play on this, right? But the main reason is because I don't know what all this body can do. I haven't been this size since I was 13. I've said that before. Well, I'm a little heavier now, so maybe a little older than that. But still, it's been like 30 years. I didn't play on playgrounds like that when I was younger. Because I couldn't. I didn't have the strength. I didn't have the stamina. Hello, word of the year, stamina. I didn't have it. And so I just kind of gave up and was just slowly waiting to die. Well, now I'm not doing that anymore. Dying's easy. Living's hard. And I don't mean that in a crass way, but it doesn't make it not true for me. For me, giving up was super easy. Trying every day is still hard. And there are days that I don't want to do it. Mentally, physically. But I modify, adapt, and overcome. Because at the end of the day, I do know what I need to do. I know how to do it. And even if it's hard, I'm going to anyway. Because I'm worth it. I deserve it. And I work hard for it. And I'm proud of that. And you can be proud of you too. But don't quit. Don't give up. What is it? They say, like if you had just gone one more step, everything would have changed. You may be too scared to take that step. Take it anyway. See what happens. Success is failure flipped inside out. We all fail. But what can you learn? Because that's what I look as failure. I've tried things in this new body that I could not do, either mentally or physically. Actually, that just happened last week. As an example, we had gone to this park before. They had this rope area, and it had this spider web, which is, 12, 15 feet tall. Might not seem like that tall, but it felt huge to me. And the last time we were at this park, I went up it. And then I wanted to go over, and I just mentally could not. I could not. I was too scared. And I told myself I wasn't strong enough to get myself up over the top of this spider web that was made for children who probably do it all the time. I couldn't do it. I had convinced myself I couldn't do it. And so then we were looking for a park, and normally Natasha picks, but I was trying to be helpful, and I was trying to find a place. And of course, every place that I found was places we'd already been. I was like, I thought it sounded familiar and looked fun. But I was like, what about this one? They're like, oh, that's the one that has that playground you like. And I was like, oh, well, that playground is fun. And so they were both like, we can go there if that's where you want to go. Because that night, all I could think about was, I'm going over that spider web. I'm doing it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to be proud of myself. I'm going up. I'm going over. We're doing it. We're not being scared. We're doing it. Because I had to believe that I could. I had to hype myself up. Be your own best hype man. If you need a backup, call me. I'll be your hype man. We went to the park, and dadgummit, there was I didn't even talk about this. When I say thousands of mosquitoes, I really don't think I'm lying. That there were more mosquitoes than I have ever seen collectively in my life. It was crazy. There were just too many of them there. They were biting us. Anyway. So Natasha's like, you know what? I used to have to get paid to go through stuff like this. I'm not getting paid today. Y'all want to just go have breakfast? So of course we were like, yeah, let's just do that. And I was like, but first I got to go up and over this spider web because it's all I've been able to think about. And I'm not leaving here without doing it. And did I do it? 110% I did. I went up, I went over. I was so proud. It just made my whole entire day. Because I was too scared because I didn't know what I could do. And what I told myself after that is you're also not ever going to find out unless you try. And I don't push myself. I know y'all probably feel like I do push myself, but I really don't. I push myself within what I feel are safe limits. And if it's too scary, I just don't talk about it so that I don't have to do it. But then how do I know if I can or if I would enjoy it because I'm too scared? And so now that I've kind of figured out that scared and excitement in my brain really kind of feels the same, like I don't actually know sometimes, am I actually scared or am I excited? Both. Neither. I don't know. Like it's really kind of one of those things, right? But excited is a happy feeling. And I can tell you I was excited to try. And then I was a little scared when I got up there to the top. And Mary's like, I like the way you talk yourself through it. I'm like, talking eases my anxiety and I have to be my own best hype man. That's why I became a personal trainer, not to really train anybody else, but because I wanted to be my own best coach. I wanted to be able to teach myself how to do things and how to push and how to program and why it's good for you. Not only to share with y'all, but for me. Right? Oh, hold on. It is worth it. We are worth it. Absolutely. I feel like I missed a few chats. Oh, Gina says she's going to bookmark the poem. Marcy said, great poem. Yeah, it is. It's called Don't Quit. Mary says she wished she has done all this sooner, but the time was not right. Now you're in a place where you want to do it. Absolutely. You're always right on time in whatever it is. You're always right on time. Gina says she loves seeing you enjoy all the climbing walls and slides. One day, Gina, it's fun. It's fun. Even though one of them rock walls was so little, I was like, Mary, stop filming the ground. She's like, I can't not film the ground. It's right there. It's still fun and still something I would not have done even probably 2 years ago. LB says the car stops. Great. You're loving it. Okay, great. I appreciate that. Gina says motivational words are always inspiring. I'm just talking about what I believe. So, yes, my legs are black from all the mosquitoes. It probably also, of course, they are, have friends that are prepared. That's why I take Mary and Natasha with me. Also because I love them, but mainly because they're always prepared. Not really, but they had sunscreen and bug spray. And I was like, the bugs haven't really been that bad. That's fine. Just give me the sunscreen. Well, we ended up not walking and I did not have bug spray. But to be fair, they had on. So did I pick wrong? Absolutely. I should have gone with bug spray, no sunscreen, because we ended up not being outside. We ended up sitting at the restaurant for like 3 hours and talking instead. So that we could still hang out and talk, which is the main reason that we get together. We just do the physical activity because it's fun and it's good for us. And it's mentally refreshing when we're walking in the woods, at least for me. Oh, Mama says, yay, yay, yeah. But anyway, get back. Oh, she said she would have, Gina says she would have been itchy the rest of the day. It was crazy. They were... Natasha slapped Mary on the butt. She's like, sorry, you had a mosquito. I'm like, you stole all my joy. I'm supposed to be the one hitting y'all on the butt. Natasha's like, well, you still could because they're still all over the place. There were so many mosquitoes. I literally have never seen anything like that in my life. I'm going to stop talking about mosquitoes, raccoons, headaches, storms. It's been an adventure of 2 weeks, guys. I've missed y'all. I'm so glad we get to talk. But we're rounding out on our hour now, so I'll just kind of back it back up and go back through, just the few things that I wanted to really bring home in this chat is that I know it's hard. I've done it. I'm still doing it. And there are still days that are harder than others. There are things that are harder than others. But the more you do it, some of it does become easier. And so just because you think something is simple or because someone else says that something is simple, it doesn't mean that it's easy. And if that's what you're expecting, then you're probably going to give up because it's not. But you can do hard things. I believe in you. I know you can do it. I know we can all do it. And it's not just weight loss, right? It's life. Life is hard. And that's okay. Hard can be fun. Hard can mean big victories. It can mean taking off a link in your watch to you. It can be downsizing your chair because it's too big. It can be climbing up and over a spider web rope course made for children, even though you're 48. It can be hard, but you can do hard things. And if someone says it's simple, don't assume it's easy. So when you see other people doing things out there and you're like, oh, that's simple. Have you done it? Have you tried it? Are you sure that it's easy? Because they're not the same. Don't compare yourself to others because we're all different. Do the best for you. It's hard to figure out sometimes what that is. But again, I believe that you can, and I believe that you're worth doing it for. So, Gina says she's hoping she doesn't see a cicada. Boy, I had to check in on Carolyn the other day. I was like, friend, I've seen the cicadas are out. Are you okay? She said they actually haven't gotten to where she is yet, so she's fine. She's like, she is not a fan. She's scared. She doesn't even like to go outside because there's like so many they get in her hair and they get them badly too. So luckily they haven't gotten to where she is yet. But yeah, I did have to check on her. Gina said her bra is loose. Wasn't expecting that. That was one of the first places I lost weight was up top, up here. All the fat just kind of went away and then everything got smaller. So yeah, different things will change. Your feet will get smaller if you lose enough weight. Like it's crazy how it is. Anyway, to end tonight's live stream, if nobody's told you recently, you can do it. You can do hard things. And if people make things sound like they're simple, know that that doesn't mean that they're easy. I know they're not. And I'm here to support you however I can, however you need. If there's anything I can do, let me know. If you need a hot man, let me know. I've been working on being my own best hot man. And I like to share that with y'all. Nobody's told you today I love you. I think you're amazing. I think you're worth it. And I absolutely know you can do whatever you set your mind to. You just have to set your mind to it and stay consistent. Don't quit. Don't quit on yourself. So that's going to do it for this evening. We'll end on Misty being on her high horse. But it's because I love y'all. And I think y'all are great. And I wouldn't be where I am now without y'all. And I want to constantly acknowledge that and remind y'all. Because you're important to me. So, like this video if you like it. Dislike it if you didn't. Subscribe if you know how. And comment down below. Have you ever had raccoons in your walls? Do you know how to get rid of them? Can we get rid of these non-paying guests, please? If you have suggestions, let me know. And until next time, I'll see you real soon. Good night, everybody. Have a great Memorial Day weekend for those of you in the States. Be safe. Make good choices. If you don't know what I mean by that, check out my community tab. Make good choices. That goes for everything. Don't drink and drive. That's what I'm saying. I love y'all.